Welcome to the party people. Dallas-Fort Worth led March U.S. home sales. That's right, led the entire country. Well done, Dallas-Fort Worth. Number one. Dallas-Fort Worth led March U.S. home sales, but there's always a but in the news. But turbulence lies ahead. There you go. Dallas Morning News with all of its ever-present optimism and positivity. If it bleeds, it leads, folks. Dallas-Fort Worth led March U.S. home sales, but turbulence lies ahead. We're going to talk about the actual reality on the ground in Dallas-Fort Worth residential real estate today. We're going to do a full market update, whether you're buying, selling, neither, or you're simply enjoying the home you own or rent. We're going to get into what's actually happening in the real estate market in Dallas-Fort Worth today. We're also going to talk a little bit with our buddy DP Lambert about what in the world is happening in home and auto insurance right now. What's going on with cost and coverage, and why are certain providers pulling out of certain states? And it will be of value to you, whether you're a big insurance market watcher or not.
Who isn't?
It'll be of value to you as you think through saving some money. There was a lot of banging on the table pre-show, so I muted those mics. Apologize for that, Ian. If you want to make a comment, go right ahead.
That's fine. The joke passed.
We're also going to get into how in the world you choose the right real estate agent, whether you're buying, selling, investing, or just running a few things by somebody. We'll talk a little bit about how to make sure you're not talking to a complete idiot. That's what we'll do, Courtney. It's always good when getting important advice on major decisions to not talk to a
idiot,
complete idiot. All right, they're out there, folks.
Better not call Ian.
Oh, man, the crowd loved that one. Okay,
Yeah, I respect it.
it was a solid burn.
good.
It was very public, so I'd watch your back.
Been giving you a hard time all day, so it's fine.
You've got me primed.
I'd watch your back for the rest of the day. 214-310-0008, folks. If you've got questions about your DFW real estate, and if you miss the show ever, Courtney, what could somebody do?
You can catch us wherever you listen to podcasts, and we're on the YouTubes.
Yep, both.
See
All
the
of them,
whole
right?
thing. All the YouTubes, all the podcasts. And that's kind of nice these days. It feels like when all this started, it was like, well, where are you? And now it's like, just whatever you want to do. If you have a podcast, there we are.
Yeah. Listen, we're here live every Saturday, 3 to 4 with you. We're rocking and rolling. We're taking your questions, 214-310-0008. You should just save that phone number in your cell phone. And anytime you have a residential real estate related question or need some feedback or need a vendor or something like that, you just call or text 214-310-0008. Literally costs you nothing. You don't have to go Googling around trying to figure out who you trust. If you like the way we lead, if you like the way we talk, if you like the resources, our approach, our philosophy, then just save this phone number, and we're happy to help whether you're buying or selling or not. If we can add some value in your life, we believe that's what we're called to do, to use our God-given gifts and abilities to add value in your life, whether it's a plumber or roofer. Should we take this wall out? What color should we paint? Will this improve our value? Can we protest our taxes? Or we want to get ready to buy or sell 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years from now. 214-310-0008.
Sidebar, really quick sidebar. Stay with me.
Okay.
You just said that sending a text message will cost nothing. Do you remember when it used to cost you something?
Oh, I remember. And
They were precious.
Your plans would be like you get 100 text messages or something, and then it's like you have to pay after that.
Before that, when it was just call minutes.
Yes.
Right? You'd have like a 300-minute plan, and
First minute was free.
And if you
I'm
went,
on my way.
If you went over, it was $57 million.
Yeah.
You know,
and then there was
you went
nights
over
and
your
weekends.
Oh.
You got free nights and weekends at like 9 p.m. It's
You
great.
know what's happened to the cell phone minutes, nights, and weekends idea? It's been moved to another industry. Have you seen it?
No, maybe.
Oh, nights and weekends.
Electric.
Your electric. Your energy bills. Free nights and weekends. Free, like, one night of the week free. Like this is the night we're going to have dinner in the living room. We're going to leave the lights on.
I get Friday.
Insane.
I get Friday 6 p.m. to Monday 7 a.m.
Such a baloney
Free.
racket. Total.
I turn all my lights on. I turn my fans on just for the fun of it.
I wish they would do that with gas.
Ridiculous. The whole thing
gas
is
bill
ridiculous.
is
Just
ridiculous.
tell me what you're charging me, and let's do it all the time. I don't want to play your games.
I like
your
the free.
shell games of pricing.
I like the freebies. All right, Patrick Glaros and his team at ABC Bank. That is who is bringing you this first segment, as they always do. You can reach out to Patrick. You can start an application right on his website. If you're looking to get a mortgage, looking to refinance, you just have questions, head over to patrickglaros.com, G-L-A-R-O-S, patrickglaros.com. If you want to call him, you can, 972-386-1231, NMLS number 308804. And if you forget any of that or anything to do with any of our vendors, just head over to toddtremoniteam.com, click on the radio tab, and you will find all of our recommended pros and vendors.
To be clear, I've done literally every single one of those things, tapping into Patrick and his team in the last week. Website, text, email, and phone call.
Well, you're just showing off, Todd.
No, I'm just saying, literally, that's exactly what I do. I don't assume that I am the mortgage expert. I know a good bit about it, but I defer to the professionals. And I shop with Patrick. That's the only place I've ever gone to get a mortgage in 20 plus years in residential real estate, celebrating our 20th year together. Patrick's been there the entire time.
When I got two questions from team members this week, and my response was, here's what I think, but I think you also need to go and talk to Patrick, who will be able to give you a more definitive answer. PatrickGlaros.com. All right, folks, here's what's going on. The Dallas Morning News, in their ever-present residential real estate wisdom. You okay?
No, I just needed a second. I wanted to make sure that the sarcasm sat well.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah.
Yep. You're welcome.
Their headline, deliberately chosen, is to take last week's headline, which was that DFW led the nation in March home sales.
Let's go.
And burn it to the ground.
Oh.
They like to follow that up with DFW led the nation in March home sales, but turbulence lies ahead. What are the odds that the Dallas Morning News knows what's going to happen in the future?
Ooh, good question. It's got to be pretty high if they're making such a bold statement.
One, if they were 4 years old, would deduce such, but we all know that literally nobody knows the future. Now, we talk about the future on this show a lot, but typically we talk about it based in the rhythms and cycles of real estate, the data that we can see, and, sort of other trusted commentators and viewers of the market. Not all commentators or headline writers are what I would like to call trusted. But look, maybe they're right. I would argue in some ways they are right. I expect there to be turbulence ahead. I don't think it's always wise and helpful to buyers and sellers and homeowners and consumers in our marketplace to just constantly lead with the negative and the shock and awe of it all. But that is what gets headlines read and links clicked and videos viewed and all those things. But here's what we want to do. We want to look at the reality of the real estate market in DFW right now and give you a likely spring-summer forecast based on what is actually happening right now.
To be clear, though, there's always turbulence?
Always, 100% of the time. There's always turbulence. There's always changes, but there's always a great time to buy and a great time to sell, too. So listen, pick your headline. You can say always whenever you want, but you're not talking to everyone. It is not always a great time to buy for everyone. There will not be turbulence ahead for everyone. If you're a cash buyer right now and you want to buy a home, the residential real estate market for you is pretty simple right now. Now, will there be turbulence in the stock market? Probably. There usually is. Will there be turbulence in the mortgage rates going forward? Well, there kind of always is. They're up and down every single day, but there are general trends. Is there turbulence in housing inventory? Sure. It goes up and down every single day. So look, I'm not mad at them. I just think they have a different goal than people like us, certainly me. Their goal is to get you to read the paper and to be generally informative enough that you'll keep coming back. Our goal is to deeply advocate for our clients. Now, not all of our listeners and our viewers are our clients, so we broaden that and try to be really helpful to help people see between the lines, to go beyond the national data, the regional data, or even the local sort of biased media approach. Bias just meaning they're biased to their goals. They don't advocate for a buyer or a seller. That's not their job. That is our job in the core business. If people are working with the Todd Tremonite Home Selling Team, we have a fiduciary responsibility to put their needs first, to assess that data for their specific wants and needs. Now, when we talk on a radio show or podcast or YouTube video, we're trying to get as close to that as we can without violating the opposite, which is that not everyone is our client. But look, here's what's actually happening in DFW right now. We see more optimism, more sales, and more activity in the marketplace than we have in basically 2 years. So to say that turbulence lies ahead, sure, that's probably accurate in the sense that there's always turbulence in the economy and interest rate markets and housing inventory if turbulence is defined as constant change and movement. Turbulence tends to have a negative connotation to it. And so I don't know that we need a negative outlook on the remainder of the spring and summer market. I think there's reason for a lot of optimism. If you want to sell a home in DFW, I think you have very good reason to be optimistic about selling your home between now and the end of the calendar year. Certainly between now and the end of what we would normally call fall. So spring, summer, early fall. I think there's a very good chance you can sell that house at or near all-time high sales prices. There are certainly some pockets of DFW that might be just a bit below their all-time high. That's still a very good place to be. And if you're buying a home right now, there is some competition, but it's not like crushing competition where you just can't get a home or you can't get a home at a fair price. Most people are buying homes in 2025 at prices that are very near where they were in 2023. When's the last time you were able to buy a house 2 years later for about the same price? This is a good time to be a buyer, a really good time to be a seller. And I would also flip that and say it's a really good time to be a seller, but it's probably the best time to be a buyer for the rest of your life. I don't anticipate home values going down any more or if much more anytime soon. I anticipate home values to go up this spring and summer. That's based on the data that they're going up right now, that there's more demand, that supply is a little higher than it was at its super low points, but it's still not crazy high. Days on market is a little bit longer than it's been the last few years, but certainly nowhere near all-time highs or scary highs. So that's what's actually happening on the ground in the market. We have a team with agents in Fort Worth and Dallas serving the entire Metroplex, primarily in desirable neighborhoods, basically neighborhoods where people really, really want to live, and homes on land, which is just big backyards, big lots, half an acre up to 10 acres. Kind of the bullseye for us is that 1 to 5 acre range. And in both of those categories, in nearly every market across DFW, there's some optimism. There's some movement. It's a good time to be a buyer. It's a great time to be a seller. And I would, if you want to buy in the next few years, I would absolutely try to buy very soon. And if you want to sell, you can be a little bit more patient because we expect home values to keep going up. But I would want to sell at like the highest buyer demand we've had in the last couple of years. So I wouldn't wait around expecting that to last forever. But that's what's actually happening on the ground. So I don't love that headline. If you're defining turbulence as things change, sure. If you're defining it as like a negative, fearful, if you're in an airplane and there's turbulence, that's not real comfortable. I think that's excessive. I think, people are just trying to scare people and drive interest with the fear-mongering hype. And I don't think that's appropriate. Not just because I'm optimistic about the market, but I don't think that serves the consumer just to scare you. The data says now's a really good time to be a buyer, a little bit better time even to be a seller. There are parts of the market where that's not exactly true, but on average, that's true. There are parts of Fort Worth where it's probably a little bit better to be a buyer right now. It's a fine time to be a seller, but you may not be just completely thrilled about all of the exact market conditions. But gosh, let's just cut it out with all the fear mongering. There is some data that's not ideal. There are some homes in our market that have lost a little bit of value. And I mean a little bit, 1 or 2%. After you had gained 29 or 30% in the last couple of years, you're fine. But let's not exaggerate it and scare people.
Well, I think also speaking to the fear, like how do you choose the right agent?
Well, before I answer that, why are you tying fear to choosing the right agent? I just want to make sure we get that across.
Well, because there are bad agents. Republic Title came by this week, and it was just really encouraging to hear them talk about what the experience is like for them working with our team versus a lot of other agents who are just like, they don't understand contracts. They're not up to date on just things that have changed and how the industry's evolving. There's a lot to it. It's
my gosh, I forgot that. She was talking about how they had agents bring in contracts and they were like, where's the compensation part in the MLS? And they were like, there's been years of litigation.
Oh my God.
And news stories everywhere, and your state, national, and local association that you're a member of have carrier pigeoned, postcard, emailed, written letters, text you, and required you to understand all this. And you literally have no idea. And you're transacting real estate for some poor soul.
This is one of the reasons, though, that it is fearful for people because they don't know where to begin.
Yeah.
Right? If they don't know somebody that has been doing this for a while and they trust them and they know that they're going to do a really good job, then it's like, man, I don't even know where to start. Like,
okay, so let's answer that question. How do you choose the right agent knowing that the wrong agent, most agents are the wrong agent, and the wrong agent can be unbelievably costly. Dollars, time, losing a house, not selling a home, getting sued, all that kind of stuff. Okay, number one, and I know there are real estate agents listening to this show right now that are not going to agree with me. I care for you as a person. We may just disagree about this professionally, and I'll deal with the emails.
Hello.
You've got to find someone that's full-time. You have to find someone that's full-time. I believe that buying or selling a home is so critical. This sounds crazy to some people. It's so critical that you should not be led, guided, and advocated for by a real estate agent that is not full-time. I don't think that let's just say your real estate budget's $500,000. I don't think that you would have an attorney protect your $500,000 who is part-time. I don't think you would have, I'm not going to say brain surgery, but important medical work done that really could make a big difference by somebody who's part-time. I don't think you would have critical accounting work that $500,000 or your home could be on the line. I don't think you would have a part-time accountant do that. Now, if you would, you are able, that's your right. I'm not judging you. Go and do that. My team will not be a good fit for you if you don't want full-time, fully committed. But what I'm saying to folks is it is not entirely your fault as a buyer or seller that you view real estate agents as someone that could do it part-time, because the industry has tried to convince you that that is true. But most people have just had atrocious experiences with real estate agents. It's why every survey that's ever done is like used car salespeople and real estate agents are battling for like the least trusted professionals on the planet. It's why nobody thinks of a real estate license in the same vein as a law license or a medical license or a CPA license, because our industry has not earned that level of trust. But I want you to look for someone in our industry that does deserve that level of trust. Now, clearly, I believe that the agents on the Todd Tremonti home selling team are equal to that because we expect full-time. We train and equip and resource and tool on their staff and technology and marketing and all these things that benefit the client via the agent. And we train agents all over North America to do that. It's just a different model. So when you're asking, how do you choose the right agent? Number one, I say you got to find someone that's full-time. Number two, that is not doing this alone. That doesn't mean they have to be a team or have a really connective brokerage, but they can't be alone, because if they're sick or their kid needs something or they're on vacation, you're not going to get the same kind of care. Now, they can be an independent agent, but they need some staff or some support from other agents, some version of what I would call a team. It doesn't have to be a formal team. Now, I think the very best model for people is our model. And it's not just because it's ours. I think there are other agents and brokerages around the country that have some similarities with us, where there are specialized agents who specialize in a type of property. On our team, they specialize in either only buyers or sellers, only Fort Worth or Dallas. And then some, not exclusively, but generally specialize in neighborhood homes or homes on land. Therefore, the client gets to work with an agent, not only that does way more business than a normal agent. Normal agent in Texas lately does 3 or 4 deals. Actually, last year, over 90% of all real estate agents did 0 transactions. So that's terrifying. And then agents on our team are doing, dozens of transactions, so many multiples of that. And they've done all of those. Let's just say they've done 20 or 30 or 40 transactions in a year compared to 0 to 3. They've also done all of those with just buyers or just sellers. Instead of a little bit of this, a lease here, a little bit of industrial, a lot over here, residential, commercial, sellers, buyers, renters, tenants, owners, and they're not specializing in anything. You're getting a specialist. So I would recommend you find someone who's full-time, who's not doing this alone, and who is specialized. Beyond that, there's a lot of things I would recommend, but those 3 things are going to get you most of the way. Number 4 is that they have a plan. If they're going to sell your house, you ask them, what is your plan for selling my house? Now, they need to talk to you before they deliver that plan, but they probably have a plan that they could then customize based on your situation to sell or help you buy. Those are criteria that I believe are absolutely critical for helping you buy, sell, invest, or just appreciate your real estate better and get better outcomes and less drama and sleep better at night and all that good stuff. Without that, there will be costs. Financial costs, time costs, stress costs, fear and anxiety, move-in dates, surveys, appraisals, purchase price, financing cost, all those things, the repairs, all these things. So it is really, really important that you choose the right agent. If you're in DFW, we'd love an opportunity to earn your business. We believe that no one's going to come close to what the Todd Tremonti Home Selling Team offers, but you decide for yourself. But go ahead and set up a free strategy session. Whether you're thinking about buying or selling tomorrow or next month or next year, give us a call or shoot us a text. 214-310-0008. That's 214-310-0008, or go online to
ToddTremontiTeam.com.
Now, we're going to talk to DP coming up here in the second half, but let me tell you about DP and his awesome team with Goosehead Insurance, home insurance, auto insurance. DP can help you with all of it. He's helped hundreds, if not thousands, of our friends, family members, all of us. I've used DP for years. dp.lambert, Lambert, dp.lambert@goosehead.com, 214-614-8595, toddtremontiTeam.com. Click on the radio tab, and that is where you're going to find all recommended pros and vendors, and I'm really excited to get to chat with DP for a little bit.
Coming up later in the show. Now, while you're at toddtremontiTeam.com, I want you to click on the menu bar, go to the bottom and hit scorecard. You're going to have an opportunity to find out if you are ready to buy or ready to sell. Your home buyer readiness score or your home seller readiness score. You can do all sorts of other things at the website, but go to toddtremontiTeam.com, click on the menu tab. Doesn't matter if you're on mobile or tablet or desktop or laptop. Click on the menu, go to the bottom, hit scorecard. In like a minute and 10 seconds, you can fill out 8 or 10 questions. You don't have to write anything. You just hit buttons and toggles. And then you will find out, are you 82% ready to buy? What do you need to do to get fully ready to buy? Are you 91% ready to sell? What do you need to do to get 100%? Are you like 23% ready and you might want to jump on the call or a Zoom with one of our full-time world-class professionals and find out, do you need to wait a year? Do you need to wait a week? Do you need to talk to a lender? Do you need to think about budget? What can we do for you? So go to toddtremontiTeam.com, click the menu deal, scroll to the bottom, hit scorecard, and completely free, you can fill out that scorecard and find out literally your score of how ready you are to buy, how ready you are to sell, or maybe even how ready you are to buy or sell for investment reasons. So toddtremontiTeam.com, click the menu tab, scroll down to scorecard, take whichever one you're most interested in, and we would be happy to jump on a call or a Zoom with you and discuss those results, but you don't have to do that. You can just check out your results and enjoy that. toddtremontiTeam.com. Welcome back, party people. Welcome back. Thanks for hanging with us through the break. Plano, Texas, kind of a big deal around here. Plano, Texas. Why would anybody want to live in Plano, Texas? Is a question we get quite often on the YouTube and the podcast. One answer, Ian,
yes,
could be, might be, often is,
yes.
Courtney, jobs.
Oh, I thought it was just going to be because that's where I am.
Jobs, and Ian.
There you go.
People want to be there because the jobs are there. There are many, many jobs there. There are jobs on the west side, on the east side, on the north side, and on the south side. I would imagine, Courtney, there are even jobs in the middle. We don't talk about this a ton, and we're going to talk about it more and more as we make our way through the show today. But, for years and years and years, Plano was like the hottest suburb in America. It was on every list. It was in every magazine. And then it was, as the internet became kind of a thing, Ian, because it wasn't always one. It was literally like every article and post about like the hottest suburbs, fastest growing, all that jazz. Plano was the bee's knees.
Some of the top neighborhoods in the U.S. in Plano. Did you know that, Todd?
He likes to talk about this one time his neighborhood's great, but one time it was on a list, and oh my gosh.
People love a list.
Have we heard about it?
They feel informative.
On today's list of the top one reason you may love Plano, Texas.
Jobs.
And more jobs.
Who doesn't want a job?
There are many other reasons to love Plano, Texas.
Sadly, a lot of people don't want to work.
Let's unpack that.
Sadly.
He's not wrong. Now, folks don't know this, but what a surprise we have for them that we already have quite a legend on this show, standing by on hold.
And now this.
Yes.
DP Lambert. Not just dp.lambert@goosehead.com, but the actual DP Lambert, insurance,
human?
Insurance guru.
DP, you sound famous.
I wasn't finished with the introduction.
Continue.
DP Lambert, insurance guru, handsome devil, dog dad extraordinaire. Welcome to the show.
Oh, wow.
How are we doing, y'all?
We're
Thanks
doing
for
well.
having me.
A guy and his dog. What's your dog's name?
My dog's name is Sifford, like Clifford with
Oh,
an
I
S.
thought you said zippered.
He's actually snoozing right here next to me. So.
That's fun.
Are you at the office and the dog's at the
Is
office?
he red?
Too?
I'm in the home office right now.
Okay, home
Indeed.
office. Well played. Well played. Well, we're going to keep talking Plano, but feel free to roll with us, and then we just get ready because Courtney has got some insane insurance questions for you later. Ooh, we do need to make sure we talk about how people are weeping in the streets at insurance costs and oftentimes getting ripped off by insurance agents and brokers for lowering their coverage. So
it's international news, DP, because my dad sent me an article. We'll get into it later.
Oh, that article.
Yeah.
All right.
Great.
We're going to circle back on that. For now, though, people love Plano because people do, in fact, some of them really
want a job.
Really love to have a job.
And this first segment is brought to you by Patrick Gleros and his team with ABC Bank. You can reach out to Patrick, like I've told you, time after time after time. Mortgages, refinancing, all sorts of things. Reach out to Patrick. Patrick Gleros, Glaros, patrickgleros.com, 972-386-1231, NMLS number 308804.
Did you hear during the Gleros read when he dropped a little dad business on him? He's like I told you. You can reach out to him, like I've told you many times.
Hi Ian, it's Mum. Happy birthday, lots of love. Enjoy your day.
Which, shout out, it's actually my brother's birthday today, so...
Hi Ian,
Hi,
it's
Stephen.
Mum.
Oh, let's try again. Quick.
Okay, I'm ready.
Ready.
I'm ready.
3, 2.
Hi
Stephen.
Ian, it's Mum.
Nailed it.
Happy birthday, lots of love. Enjoy your day.
Oh, I just want to put her in my pocket.
Should we do it?
She would fit. She's about 4'10".
Should we do it? Should we do...
Happy birthday to you. Stick your head down the loo. If you feel something's squishy, it might be a poo.
God, kids are
I was on the phone with my brother this past weekend, and he had forgotten to play the clip, the original clip, to his kiddos.
Because he just had the Grady one.
So he played it to them, and they lost it. They loved it so much that they were on the radio.
They're American radio celebrities all the way from across the pond. DP, I know that for a minute there you entirely forgot that this was in fact a residential real estate radio show because the wheels came all the way off. But it's Ian's brother's birthday, which we would not typically celebrate on this show. But Ian's birthday went so well a few weeks back because...
Hi Ian,
Stephen.
it's Mum. Happy birthday, lots of love.
Because
Enjoy your day.
Ian's sweet, sweet mom made an appearance.
How many
from
years
across the
apart
pond.
are y'all?
Me and my brother were 13 months.
Oh, wow. Irish twins.
That's what my mom calls it, but I'm not sure that's
not quite.
appropriate.
It's gotta be within a year.
So we love the people of Ireland.
It's also got to be within a year.
And
We're close.
Just about.
how do you
did
feel
that.
about the potential new president of Ireland?
I'm
You
not
haven't
really
seen it?
informed on
You
all
haven't
that
seen
talk.
the Conor McGregor?
Oh, no.
Says he's running for president.
Okay. I mean,
Although WBAP does
Sure.
from time to time love a little politics. Let's get back to the real
Why
estate.
not?
And this video is going to be fun to edit later on Plano, Texas. Okay. Plano, Texas jobs, DP. Off the top of your head, if you can you think of any big corporations that are headquartered in Plano, Texas?
Headquartered.
Or have a campus or have a big employment center. I know I didn't prepare you for this.
I mean,
I feel like,
ironically, I know right on 75 in George Bush, there's that giant State Farm building.
there is a giant
There
State
you
Farm
go.
building. That
I
one's
know that
technically
one.
in Richardson, but we're going to give it to you because that is literally the border. It's Plano
That's on the
immediately on the
line.
other
That's
side.
on the line.
Yeah. We got JP Morgan Chase with over 11,000 employees. We got Capital One Finance with over 5,000.
I was
Toyota.
gonna say Capital One.
Toyota's just under 5,000. PepsiCo is just under 4,000. Ericsson's just 3,300. AT&T 2,500. Medical City Plano 2,300. Liberty Mutual, shout out Aguirre, 2,100. USAA 2,000. Fannie Mae 2,000. JCPenney 2,000. It's amazing they still have 2,000. They're making a comeback. And then it just keeps going. It is an employment powerhouse. So when people think about making a move to Plano, a lot of times, of course, they're thinking about schools and restaurants, and Plano's got all that. Highly regarded schools, Legacy West, and all these cool kind of Plano Frisco boundaries where you've got all kinds of restaurants. You got downtown Plano with all its hype and glory and fun bars, restaurants, walkable entertainment, all these kind of stuff. So Plano's great. But the thing that I feel like we just don't talk about enough here on the show, on YouTube, or just in the marketplace is the fact that there's massive employment opportunity all across Plano. There's a lot of people that are moving to areas around Plano, and they're actually commuting into Plano, not just Dallas or Frisco, the places that get talked about the most. But if you're thinking about a move to Plano, there's a high likelihood that there's a job there for you at one of these huge companies. And obviously that goes without saying. There's a tremendous number of small businesses in Plano, just like there are everywhere. But there's a disproportionate amount of big global, international, significant employers of thousands of people just in Plano. Obviously, many of those companies have people all across the globe, but in Plano, thousands and thousands of people. So something to think about as you're evaluating a move to or near or around Plano, or as you're talking to friends, family members, or other companies thinking about making a move to the area. So not only is Plano very popular on all the lists for all the other reasons, education, location, recreation, food, hike and bike trails. Go ahead, Ian. You usually like to get in on the hike and bike trails, the recreation.
Oh, yeah, I love them.
Mm-hmm. That's what I thought he was going to say. Not the fact that he lives near one that's really amazing.
Oh, yeah, I'm doing some research on something here.
I mean, it is a positive thing because we're not an outdoorsy mountain town. So to have some great trails.
I've gotten some really aggressive YouTube comments when I've said things like that. We're an outdoorsy community. We love you all. We're not exactly known for our like incredible natural beauty here in the metroplex.
It feels like a concrete jungle. And so to have some nice parks and trails, I find that to be a benefit.
So I walk from my house about a mile to get to the entrance of one of the nature parks.
Yep.
And I went there like over the weekend and did like a really nice walk all through, and there's a little lake there, and it's awesome. Like I love all that.
No, and there's several in Plano that are really incredible. The one by your house, I don't know if we're saying or not, is really amazing. There's an equestrian area. There's legit trails that it's incredible forestry. Like literally the maturity of those trees. There's not a lot in the area that have that age and scale and size. Not too far where they do the Plano Balloon Festival and all kinds of cool stuff like that. But all that to say, those are the reasons people often talk about Plano. And if you're catching this on the podcast, feel free to check out other episodes and things where we talk about that in more detail. But what we're emphasizing is just kind of the sheer disproportionate amount of employment opportunity that is in Plano, which makes it great. Now, feel free to check out Plano. But you know what? Literally everybody, not everybody's going to move to Plano, Ian. I don't know if you knew that. Not everybody can.
Factual.
But pretty much everybody's got to have some home and or auto insurance. DP, what percentage of people would you say that own a home and insurance should have insurance on it? That own a home or a car should have insurance on it?
That is correct. I would say 100%. If you, unless you're taking a gamble, buying the house in cash and want to go uninsurable, you're going to have insurance on that home.
Barring massive and just impenetrable independent wealth where you self-insure with tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars just saved in cash. If that's not you, literally everyone else needs to have insurance on your home and your vehicles. Now, here's the question, DP. Lately, people seem to be a little bit more frustrated by the cost of home and auto insurance. And we have had you on the show.
So.
We've had you on the show before to talk about why that is. So you feel free to kind of reiterate that briefly. But my question today is, what are some of the risks of like jumping on the internet and just scouting out super cheap insurance?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's a lot of details I could go into as far as the ins and outs of coverage that you can have on a home insurance policy. I think the biggest thing that I can always drive home, and you say this as well too, is just that making sure you have a trusted relationship with an agent on your policies that knows what they're doing. They're an expert that can guide you through that so that you can make an educated decision on whether you do want those coverages or not, right? Because at the end of the day, it is your policy. It is your budget. I can, as the expert, give you those recommendations versus you going on the internet, kind of reading into a foreign language and not understanding what all these terminology mean, and setting up a policy to where then something happens, you're not covered correctly, you're not getting the product you even paid for in the first place. If that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. And to play the part typically played by Courtney, where we just attack our own credibility, of course an insurance agent's going to say that. Of course you're going to say that. So realistically, what might happen? I go online, I go to one of these sites where you just enter in like very minimal information, and then it gives me a quote. And I'm like, oh, I could save $150. I'm just going to go with that. What are some things that, because I don't speak that insurance language, what are some things that are pretty, like, not crazy extreme example, but some things that maybe I unknowingly skimped on? I didn't get enough coverage on it, or I left that off. What are some of those things?
Sure. I think in DFW or just Texas in general right now, an easy one to, think you're winning and saving some money would be the amount on your wind hail deductible, or even furthermore, if there's full replacement costs on the roof of the house. That's kind of the big point of contention, that a lot of companies are not even covering roofs at full replacement cost if they're over 10 years old or a certain age. So if you have a 12-year-old roof and you sign up for a home insurance policy that's $1,000 less than your current one, but you have a 3% wind hail deductible and you end up paying $15,000 when your roof needs to be replaced, and it's not even at the full replacement cost, versus if you had even a 2%, just from a 3%. 2% is pretty normal right now. You're talking, I'm just throwing numbers out of $500,000 house. A 3% deductible is going to be $15,000 out of your pocket versus a 2% would be $10,000.
Well, I don't know if you know this, Todd, but
the
roof covers your entire house. It's pretty important.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Big time educational moment there for me. Now, DP, even that sounds a little technical for some folks. So let me try to recap. What you're saying is you jump on the internet and you figure out you can save $40 a month or whatever. And what's likely happening is you either have a higher wind hail deductible, so you're paying less every month in your premium. But if you have a claim, if you get hail and you now need a new roof, you may be coming out of pocket $15,000 instead of 10 or 8 or 5 or something like that with a different type of plan, right? Now, you feel like, okay, that was 5 years. I saved, $20, $30, $40 a month. So I feel like I might have come out ahead, but you are now at significant risk of being in a situation where not only are you having to come out of pocket way more, you actually even then still don't have the best coverage, and the insurance company's not going to pay for a full replacement. So you're spending more for less because you didn't fully understand in the short run what saving $10, $20, $30, $40 was actually going to cost you. Is that a fair summary?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you do the math, most of the time it's, for it to break even, it's usually about at least 10 years, So
right.
In the next 10 years, I'd hope nobody would have any issues with their houses, of course, but the likelihood is that's not the case.
Right.
We just look at history, especially in recent years. And so Yeah, I think that's super important to take note of for sure.
Well, and then the other thing is you used a $500,000 example, but in North Texas, there's a whole bunch of people with million, 1.5, 2.
Conservative, right?
Yeah, and so all of a sudden just because people own a $2 million house, by the way, doesn't mean they're just like independently wealthy. So oftentimes you got a $2 million house, you got a $50,000 or $60,000 roof problem, and you're coming out of pocket for most of it. Right?
Exactly.
3% on $2 million. You got $60,000 that you are responsible for, and you might still not have like complete replacement. Real quickly, what does it mean not to have replacement value?
Great question. That's saying a full replacement cost on a roof would be the brand new value of a roof in 2025 versus actual cash value, which is essentially just means depreciated value, right? So if your roof is 8 years old, 10 years old, fill in the blank, whatever the actual cash value of the roof is, that would be the coverage that you would get.
So we're gonna help you get back. Yeah, instead of we're gonna get you a brand new roof, we're gonna kind of help you get back to what you had, which was an 8 or 10 year old equivalent roof.
It's a very easy thing to miss in a home insurance quote if you're looking at, if you don't really know what that means, right? And
Courtney wants to know. Courtney wants to know if a lazy or shady's not the right word, but an agent that's just going to do whatever it takes to earn your business and maybe not fully educate you, if that's something that they would pretty frequently do. It's just not communicate.
Yeah, I don't know if I would use the word frequently.
Too nice.
The last 2 years, has kind of, as it does in y'all's industry as well, the cream rises to the top of people that make it in this industry and do well. And it's the people that do it honestly, I would say, are the ones that are in it for the long haul. But to answer your question, Courtney, yes, I that's something that is definitely seen. I'd like to say not frequently, but I've definitely come across quotes of competitors or whoever, that I'm looking at, and that is the case where I'm like, oh, hey, this is not at a full replacement cost or a simple, hey, that's a 5% Wendell deductible. No wonder you had a $2,000 less premium.
It was an excellent question from Courtney, and I will say that the shady people do it frequently. I said it.
Yeah.
No, you didn't say it. I said it.
DP's too nice. DP, public question. This one's not from Courtney. This one's from me.
Sure.
My son is now entering the driver's permit stage of life.
There we go.
What do we do with auto insurance for him? Do we wait until he's actually got his license and is driving his own vehicle, or do we need to do something now while he's just driving with us and learning?
Great question. As a permitted driver, yes, he should be listed on the policy. It's rated differently as a permitted driver than an actual licensed driver, as you can imagine. Just because the scenario is going to be different with a permitted driver, with a parent or guardian in the car with them. And then, yes, as he gets his full-on driver's license, then he's a full-on driver on the policy, and rated as such. So that's when you really see the premium kick in, is when you have a fully licensed team driver. So hope you're ready for a little bump, Todd.
I'm just gonna stop driving when he starts, and it's still gonna go up. I'm just gonna ride with him. Well, whatever I need to do on the permitted driver, tee me up for that, and we'll knock that out in the next couple of days. Ian has got a headline that may or may not surprise you, but he is eager to talk to you about it.
Well, shout out to my pops. He sent me this all the way from the great land of the England.
Well, we've already heard from your mom and your nephews, and
I'm getting all of them involved.
Told your brother happy birthday today. So what's your uncle's name?
No, my dad is called Nigel.
Yeah, but what's your uncle's name?
Mike.
Up the borough, Mike. I just wanted to get everybody that I'm aware of on the show today.
And Megan in Monaco. Hello, Ross. What's up? Mm-hmm. All right. So the article that got sent was from the Times, and the headline was "The U.S. real estate's next crisis is climate change," and then the subheadline was "Insurance costs could be the first domino to fall amid the ravages of climate change in the southern states." So my question to you is: the article was primarily talking a lot about Florida and about the hurricanes and things like that, and how there's so much uninsurable areas now in Florida. What does the knock-on effects of that have to us here in North Texas? And do we see similar things happening because we've got, an increased number of tornadoes and the hail's getting bigger and worse? So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, great question.
Thank you.
I don't think it's kind of two different buckets as far as Texas and Florida. Both are beasts, to kind of deal with as far as insurance goes. And I will say, I'll throw in there, you mentioned the hurricane. I lived in North Carolina from 2020 to 2024, and was in Charlotte, but was kind of a 1 in a million thing that happened with the hurricane that came through the mountains and kind of wrecked shop in Asheville and Boone and all those mountain towns, which is kind of an unthinkable experience as well. So I'll throw that into the mix too. That's not as it was a horrible thing to have to deal with, but that's not a normal occurrence like a hurricane would be in Florida or a hail and tornado would be in Texas, if you will.
So in 30 seconds, what does that do to insurance prices, and what should we expect to happen, in your opinion, over the coming years? Yeah,
I mean, as everyone's seeing on their renewals, even if you've never filed a claim on your house, the premiums have gone up and they're going to go up until these companies can be at a point where they're profitable again. And I will say, as far as Texas goes, we're seeing trends from my perspective and point of view as an agent. Outside of just the premiums going up, the effects I see when I'm writing business is these companies are a lot more restricted when we try to write business in these highly populated areas, like your 4 DFW counties, Tarrant, Denton, Collin, Dallas, right? And as those restrictions start to lighten up, and when I say restrictions, I mean they will literally restrict new business in certain counties, or if a claim report pulls in and they don't like it, they're just a lot more picky. Or the 2% wind hail deductible going from 1%, and that being the new normal. All of those things are what I'm talking about, kind of what I'm referring to in restrictions.
Okay, DP, we got very little time left. So real quick, how can someone get a hold of you if they want to call you because you know all this stuff and you can just handle it for them?
Yeah, my number, y'all say it every time, is 214-614-8595. And then dp.lambert@goosehead.com.
Just do what we do, people. Just expect DP to know all of this for you so you don't have to learn it or try to think about the impact of climate change on your insurance cost as if we don't have enough other stuff to think about. dp.lambert@goosehead.com. dp.lambert@goosehead.com. Also, go to toddtramonteteam.com, click that menu, scroll down to scorecards. You can find out your home buyer readiness and your home seller readiness score right now. If you're thinking about updating the garage floors, the concrete pathways, walkways, patios, maybe a pickleball court, basketball court, sport court, anything like that, it's goodgaragefloors.com. Folks, if we can help you at all, go to toddtramonteteam.com. If all else fails and you forget, just Google Todd Tramonte. Also, happy birthday to Ian's brother.
Hi, Ian. It's
Mum.
you
missed it.
I did. One more time. Go for it.
Hi,
Stephen.
Ian. It's Mum. Happy birthday. Lots of love. Enjoy your day.